Are you confused about the differences between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA? Well, today I'm clearing up the confusion and helping you decide when a Roth makes more sense and when a traditional IRA makes more sense for you. Hi there, my name is Ashley Micciche. I'm the CEO of True North Retirement Advisors, where we help business owners with their retirement and business exit planning. So if you're a business owner and you're thinking about retirement in the next 5 to 10 years, then be sure to subscribe to this channel where we put out new videos pretty much every single week. So I want to start, just lay the foundation by talking about why you might want to consider a Roth in the first place. Well, the answer lies in the taxes, because once the money is inside of a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k account, that money is never taxed again. Now, there are a few exceptions to this rule. The point is that it's an IRA account, so you can think of it as being meant for retirement. IRA actually stands for Individual Retirement Account. So you could potentially pay taxes on that money if you break some of the rules surrounding Roth IRAs. But the point here is that you can let that money, once it's inside of the Roth IRA, you can let it grow and it's not taxed again. Now, the trade-off, of course, with the Roth versus the traditional IRA is that when you put the money into the account, so when you first decide, okay, I'm going to invest $5,000 into my Roth this year. The reason that a lot of people shy away from the Roth is because you don't get the tax deduction on that contribution in the year that you make it. Whereas you do get the tax deduction if you make that same $5,000 contribution to your traditional IRA. So you can think about it like this. Money going into the Roth, you've already paid taxes on it. You don't get any tax benefit when you make that contribution in the year that you make it. But then the growth, and when you're retired later on and you need that money and you start taking the withdrawals from your Roth IRA, that money is not taxed again. Now, on the other hand, a traditional IRA, you do get a tax deduction in the year that you make that contribution. But here's the problem. The money grows and it's not taxed from year to year, but there's a time limit on that. The rules say when you get to age 72, you are forced. You have mandated withdrawals that you have to take from a traditional IRA, and every single dollar that you pull out of that traditional IRA gets included for your taxable income for the year. So not only are you forced to take money out of your IRA account if you don't have it in a Roth, that money gets added to your income for the year and can potentially put you in a higher tax bracket. You end up paying taxes on it. So you have these handcuffs on you later on in retirement if you go for the traditional IRA option or the traditional 401k versus the Roth. So we have tax-free growth inside of a Roth, tax-free withdrawals, and no mandatory withdrawals either. So we've got 3 big benefits so far of the Roth IRA compared to the traditional IRA. The way the tax rules are written, first of all, remember I said you have no mandatory withdrawals. So when you need income in retirement, you can tap into other accounts and you can let that Roth continue to grow. And let's say it passes to your 3 kids. They receive that Roth tax-free. That is not true when you have money in the traditional IRA, because in the same scenario, you build up a substantial amount, you die, it goes to your 3 kids. They are mandated to take the money out over a 10-year time period. And guess what? Every penny that they take out of that inherited IRA that they got, if it's not a Roth, also gets added to their taxable income. So not only is a Roth a really good option because of the tax-free growth and no mandatory withdrawals, but when you fast forward all the way to the end of your life and that money passes to your heirs, it's even more tax advantageous for them to have Roth funds versus traditional IRA funds. Now I want to really focus in on who is a good candidate, because the truth is Roth IRA and the benefits are not universal. Not everyone should consider a Roth and not everyone can actually contribute to a Roth either. Now generally, the younger you are, the better a Roth option is in the long run because you have more time. If you start putting money into a Roth in your 20s and 30s, even in your 40s, you have potentially 20, 30, 40 plus more years years before you're going to need to take withdrawals from that account for retirement. It allows that money to grow tax-free for a longer and longer period of time. But that doesn't mean that if you're in your 50s and 60s that you shouldn't consider a Roth. In fact, you hear this all the time about young people should consider a Roth. And yes, that's true. It doesn't mean that if you're in your 50s or 60s, you shouldn't consider a Roth and it's a bad option for you, because again, you still get the tax-free growth from the Roth, and because it doesn't have those mandatory withdrawals, you may never touch that money. So if you are 50 years old and you start putting money into a Roth, or even if you're 60, you could still let that money grow tax-free for 10, 20, 30 more years. So you can still benefit substantially from the tax-free growth, and time is still on your side if you're in your 50s and 60s. But the point here is that the younger you are, the more it makes sense. Another good candidate for a Roth IRA is if you already have a substantial amount of money inside of a traditional 401k or traditional IRA account. The reason why you would want to consider a Roth is because you want to diversify how those accounts are treated from a tax standpoint. So you think about diversification as in terms of investments, you know, stocks, bonds, etc. But there's also diversification that you should consider from a tax standpoint. So you have money in this IRA, traditional IRA 401k bucket. That has a different tax treatment than the Roth. And the reason why this is important is because nobody can predict future tax rates. So it's very important to diversify that and have more control. So you have these mandated withdrawals again in your traditional, you don't have these mandated withdrawals, and that money that you do pull out is not taxed. It's super important. You have more control then over how and where you take your money out in retirement. So don't ever let anybody tell you that because your income is going to be lower in retirement that you shouldn't consider a Roth, because the line of thinking goes is that, well, because my income is going to be lower, my taxes are going to be lower. No, we don't know what tax rates are going to be in the future. So it makes sense to have money in a traditional IRA 401k, which you likely already do if you're watching this video, and also have money inside of a Roth. Okay, so the third, probably most important criteria is your income. I believe it's from about $196,000 to $206,000. Once you're above, you can't make Roth IRA contributions, but the rules are different and the income limits are different for depending on how you file your taxes. A lot of people who have high incomes you can't contribute to a Roth IRA. And so you get locked out of it because of your income, which is another reason why a lot of people who save and have substantial amount of money saved for retirement don't have a lot in Roth, because they weren't able to contribute to those accounts because their income was always too high. Okay, but here's the other thing that I want to point out is that inside of your 401k, if you have a Roth option, it doesn't matter what your income is. Those income limits for Roths do not apply. You can still max out your 401k contribution, which if you're over 50 is $26,000, and that money will not be taxed again. So it's super important not just to consider the Roth IRA, but if your income is too high and you still have access to a Roth 401k, then that's a great way to still be able to get money inside of a Roth regardless of your income. All right, so there you have it. Hopefully after watching this video, you have a better idea, and I've busted some of these myths about who should and who shouldn't contribute to a Roth. So I urge you to consider that. There are so many circumstances. If you are like 55, 65, a Roth is still something that should be on your radar and is something that you should consider, because the benefits of Roths are so amazing. I love the Roth. It's a beautiful thing. And I want you to consider a Roth for yourself. So hopefully in this video, I've laid it out for you. I've helped you better understand the differences so you can make an informed decision about what is right for you. All right, so if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know if you have any questions. You can ask those in the comments. I will be sure to answer those questions. And if you like videos on retirement, you want to hear more about retirement, you're getting serious about retirement, I want you to do two things. I want you to subscribe to this channel where I put out new videos pretty much every week. And if you go over to iTunes or Alexa on Amazon or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, I have a daily podcast on quick retirement tips, and my goal is to make that easier for you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ashley Micciche, and I hope you have a blessed day.